been doing 4 years that is as bad as our freedom of speech as what Trump is doing.
This ridiculous demand is exactly the kind of thing that drives me crazy about the modern left. Because what you're going to do, what you're going to point out is a million areas where Donald Trump acts like a petulant child, takes actions that are
hold on. I'm not gonna. This is such a. Please stop doing this. Wait, no.
Destiny brought on one of his audience members for a debate here live on Destiny's own YouTube channel, and he got absolutely annihilated by this guy. He is a lawyer, and he knows a whole lot more than Destiny does about politics, about law, and about many other things. So let's get into this clip here where Destiny gets destroyed and loses his mind on his own show in this heated debate here with his own audience member. Let's check it out.
People like Josiah at Pondering Politics or Pisco, or maybe we'll see what Yusuf have to say about it. And there seems to be a sentiment that they want to be like more aggressive, more memey, more, dunking, more, getting out there and mixing it up and trying to play dirty. And I just don't see that this is working. And, I would love to vote for the Democrats in the next cycle. I used to vote for them. So this would be fantastic. And I just don't understand what they're doing.
I don't know. Well, I think it's a challenge because on the Democratic side, I think Democrats are interested in like actual governance, and I think they're interested in actually trying to like further the country along. But the Republicans have sold themselves out to having absolutely no moral values, absolutely no standard for behavior, and have basically.
This is so ridiculous. I'm sorry for pausing so quickly, but this is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. Do you guys understand? I can't even speak because of how stupid this is. This is the exact opposite. Look, a lot of times I can see how Destiny can logic himself into certain takes that he has. This is one of those that there is no way this guy logicked himself into this take. You're saying that the side that believes in no religion, right? That says that, Christianity is evil, makes fun of, mocks Christianity, mocks Islam, mocks every single religion, everything that has a moral code. There is no moral code. You only act on what you feel is right in the moment, and that is always the right thing to do. That is the side that has sold their souls, or whatever he said, has no morality. Dude, the Democrats' opinions and morals and beliefs change like they blow around like a leaf in the wind, dude. You see what Gavin Newsom just did on Charlie Kirk's podcast? He went and basically completely 180'd on a lot of things he's been saying about trans people in sports and all this stuff. The Democrats' beliefs and morals and opinions, they change based on what's going to get them elected. And look, the Republicans do that too. The political candidates will do that as well. But the voters, for the most part, have a specific moral code that they stick to. They follow the law of Christianity. They follow the Bible, or they follow the Quran or something, right? The left wingers literally can just change, and their morals and beliefs can just change whenever they want to, whatever they feel like changing them to, because they don't believe in any morality, right? They don't believe in any law above themselves, other than, any law above humans, right? Whereas the right wingers, a lot of times they're Christians, and they believe in some sort of spiritual being that put a moral code on their heart. That is the most ridiculous thing ever. Sorry for that rant, but that is crazy.
Made it as okay as possible to engage in relentless illegal activity. And so it's a very weird world when you're trying to compete with those people in an environment where they've greenlit criminal behavior and lying. Like, it's a very, very difficult environment to.
Well, what do you think it looks like when a Democrat wins? Like to me, the idea that you're going to get into a meme contest or a who's the bigger asshole contest with Donald Trump and have that be a winning strategy seems crazy to me. Like, I think it wouldn't work in general, because that's not what the Democratic base responds to. And also, he's like the heavyweight champion of the world in those categories. Like, it's picking a fight you can't win. I think the kind of like the cleverness of the right's own the lib strategy was that it moved the playing field into an area where the left is disadvantaged. I think when people fracture and go into their own ideological camps, the right's base is more homogenous. I think it just benefits them to be in this kind of information environment. So I don't know. I just don't see that being I don't see that move working for the Democrats. But
I mean, what move works?
I think when the Democrats win, they present. I'm thinking of like Clinton. I'm thinking of Obama.
Well, don't think about don't think about any of those people, because that media environment doesn't matter anymore. We're in a totally new world right now. So everything prior to 2016 is totally out the window. 2016 to 2020 started to change things quite a bit, and now we live in a whole new world.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's true in terms of like the methods, but in terms of the vision, what I mean is that you need to show a vision of somebody wants to make the country better, has a clear, common sense plan for doing it, and
neither of those things have mattered to voters for a while. They clearly didn't matter last election.
I think last election, the problem is that nobody believed her.
Another problem. Like, what is, dude? It's crazy because I used to watch Destiny a good bit when he used to argue with a lot of people who I know. Like, you know, he used to have arguments with Sneeko and those people. And like, he was not this delusional back then. What does he mean? What is he talking about? This guy says that people want someone with a plan to fix the country, to make their lives better, whatever. And Destiny says, well, they obviously didn't care about that in the last election. What are you talking about? Do you think, does Destiny genuinely think that Kamala Harris had a better plan than Donald Trump? Kamala Harris's plan was non-existent. She had many opportunities to reveal her plan to us, and she never did. Every single time when Kamala Harris was asked, hey, what are you going to do better than Joe Biden did? She said, well, first off, I'm not Joe Biden. And that's it. That's all she had. That's all the material that she had. She never once revealed a plan. Not once. At least Donald Trump had something. Kamala Harris had nothing.
It's a lie. No. That's to be clear, that's a total lie, right? It's people are more concerned right now with culture war stuff than anything having to do with any part of like how the system is supposed to work, what the laws are, and how the economy is supposed to work. Mm-hmm. That's just, like, you included. None of you guys care about any of the actual like governance stuff, because if we start to go issue by issue, it's all just going to come down to like wokeism and whatever that means. So the idea that
and we can if you want, but I think that's totally false. I think the biggest had.
I'm curious. Okay, wait. Let's try this real quick. So, who do you think was better on freedom of speech?
I think she's like a non-entity. I don't really know. Between the Biden administration and the Trump administration, I think they've both been pretty terrible.
Okay, can you give me one example that you feel like Biden did that was the equivalent to Donald Trump suing CNN because he didn't like the Kamala Harris interview, and suing Seltzer, the pollster in Iowa?
No, they're not going to be equivalent. But
no. I need something of a similar magnitude to that.
What Donald Trump does that's very bad.
No, wait. I don't care what you're going to say right now. I want something that Biden did that's a similar magnitude to what Trump is doing right now with those two lawsuits.
Is attempt to create a Homeland Security department that would administer speech on the internet, which was eventually rejected, was a very bad idea. His use of Title IX.
Wait. So for the first thing, you just gave something he didn't do. So he wasn't able to do that. So he didn't do that. So who cares? I want to be able to fly, and I want to be able to breathe in outer space and go Super Saiyan.
Well, Donald Trump's going to lose the lawsuit against Spelcer. I forgot to say that. It's a clear loser.
It doesn't matter if he's going to lose the lawsuit. He still is doing the lawsuit. So these are things that Donald Trump is doing. You gave me Biden desires that are mediated by the environment. So.
And then the other example was Title IX. But
what's the Title IX example?
When the way that they use Title IX to chill discussion of gender issues out on campuses, because basically when you work gender identity into Title IX, then it becomes a protected class in Title IX.
How are they chilling discussions on gender issues?
The concern was that when they update Title IX such that gender identity becomes a protected classification, then harassment using wrong pronouns, that sort of thing, becomes a Title IX issue, which then makes it very hard for students who disagree to have conversations on campus about those topics.
Okay, so I just want to be super clear, just because this is a ridiculous comparison. You think that making it so that Title IX would have made it against the rules on college campuses to harass people on the basis of being trans. You think that that's a similar attack on free speech as the president of the United States suing people in media for doing things he doesn't like?
No, I don't think it's equivalent. That's what I was trying to say at the beginning. I think that
wait. If it's not, wait, hold on, stop. You guys keep doing this. Eject all that. I don't care. I'm looking for something equivalent, or I'm looking for you to say, okay, Donald Trump is worse on this. I don't know why it's so many word games. Like, what did the Biden admin do in 4 years that is as bad as our freedom of speech as what Trump is doing?
This ridiculous demand is exactly the kind of thing that drives me crazy about the modern left. Because what you're going to do, what you're going to point out is a million areas where Donald Trump acts like a petulant child, takes actions that are
Hold on, stop. Hold on. I'm not gonna. This is such a. Please stop doing this. Wait, no. Donald Trump is not a petulant child. He is the president of the United States of America, who is engaged right now in like the destruction of our constitutional order. I don't know why you guys mince words so much. Well, he's putting us in an awkward situation. He's a petulant child. No, he's a fully grown adult male. He's the president of the United States of America. Yes. Okay.
So we agree he's doing things that are bad for freedom of speech. Like, I don't know what the problem there is. Like,
well, yeah, because I'm just, because I said, if you go issue by issue, it's obvious that people like you or you guys don't care about the issues. And then you said, well, you can go by issue by issue. And now I want to. Let's go issue by issue. So on the First Amendment.
What do you mean by people like me, first of all?
Because you guys will act like you're talking about like how governance is or how the country is ran or these constitutional issues. But at the end of the day, it always just goes back to wokeism. Even the one example you just gave me on the First Amendment had to do with trans people in Title IX. What?
We spoke for like an hour and a half. Do you think I voted for him? Is that where you're coming from?
But I don't understand. This is the same thing. This is the same thing. I recorded 2 videos today. Kyle Kalinske was the other one. And they always say the same thing. They make the trans issue or the culture war issues seem so trivial. And I agree. They are trivial. That's the problem. The problem is people like Destiny and the Biden administration and all of these people, they can't admit to basic facts of reality. Like, if we can't establish a baseline level of what reality is, what's a woman, what's a man, this type of thing, then we can't have any sort of discussion that's going to improve the country overall. It's not going to happen. So I don't understand why these people like Destiny and Kyle Kalinske and these people, David Pakman, they make it seem like it's so stupid to talk about these things. If it's that stupid, then why can't you just answer the question? Like, I can't. I agree. It is stupid. It's trivial. That's not what we should be focused on. But if we can't establish a baseline of reality, there's no point in going any further. That's why that stuff is so talked about. That's why it's such hot topics. You know? Let me know in the comments what you guys think about Destiny getting absolutely cooked here on his own show by his own audience member, this lawyer here. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about this whole Destiny versus this guy, his own audience member, live on his own show.